far we're like probably a week into training camp, and it looks like he is on fire.
Nice. Nice to hear that.
Yeah.
They should,
I mean,
they got to get him paid. As they haven't done a new contract with him yet, have they?
no. Oh no. I don't know. He's worth it though. He
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
I was watching footage of him in camp the other day.
Hmm.
Looked good.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
his teammates are saying like what he is doing and what he is producing on the field right now, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Coach Kirk Broussard, what do you think? I know we're going to start off right where we left off. The Buffalo Bills. What do you think of Josh Allen so far? Have you caught any of his training camp stuff?
I have not caught any of his training camp stuff, but I have heard about the buzz. And
Yeah.
he's kind of at that ripe age, that change of season of a quarterback to really mature into that elite category to kind of rival what Mahomes has done. You know, he could potentially be the next best thing to Mahomes in the AFC. You know, I feel like he's one notch below Mahomes at this point. And
Wow.
he put up great numbers last year, and you can't expect anything less than his numbers to improve this year. If he can stay healthy, you know, they got some really good weapons around him. I like what they did in the draft. They had look like a true stud.
Okay. I think on my end, I might have a little bit of technical difficulty. I didn't catch the tail end of that, but you know, moving along, because I know we're going to be talking about the Bills a lot. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this evening I wore my Giants blue.
Okay.
I'm representing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
in my mind, it's the same color as the Giants. So whatever. Football is back. That's all that matters to me. So speaking of football, we'll talk about my end of the border. So CFL, we are back. I made it out to a Ticats practice about a week ago. It was amazing to hit that field, just to walk out there, because it has been a long time. We haven't had football since 2019.
Yeah.
This pandemic just wiped us right out. So this Thursday, we start our season off. So
Nice. Who's the first game against?
it's Hamilton. So it's the Ticats and the Bombers.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So it just felt so good to be back. It just felt so good.
I bet the smell of the grass on a football field, like what? That's what I miss the most. The smell of that freshly cut grass on a football field. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what? You're right. There is a distinct smell in a stadium when you hit a field. And it's not only that, it's the players' faces, it's the fans' reaction. It was a whole vibe. It was incredible, the vibe at Tim Hortons Field, because like I said, we haven't been back from forever. So it was absolutely incredible. So I look forward to Thursday. But you know, getting back to NFL headlines, another story making well, he's been in the headlines for a while now. Chris, you posted a comment on my post, which I took from Kirk's post. It was Aaron Rodgers. He had his big press conference the other day.
Mhm.
A lot of people still going off like he's a diva. You know, he's here, he's there. He doesn't know really what he wants. It's all a headline. It's all for the spotlight. Now, Chris, you posted that you pretty much agreed with him, and that press conference was the best he's ever played in his whole career. And I have to agree with you. What are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers?
Being here in Green Bay, I hear a lot of that stuff from fans. I mean, it's right down the middle. People are upset. People are happy he's back. A lot of people that are upset seem to think that he's being too much of a diva and he wants too much pull. But my opinion of that is that if you don't want superstars, don't employ the greatest players that you can find, right? I mean, so I think there's a certain way that they should handle him. Any superstar in any sport needs to be handled in a certain way, and they know how Aaron Rodgers is, and so I think they should extend that olive branch to him just a little bit more so he's happy and that sort of thing. But that press conference that he put on, and I think I watched all 31 minutes of that press conference.
It was long.
It was long, and he absolutely went in the most politically correct ways he could go in on management. And I think, he lets us know right there really truly how he feels. And I thought truly that was one of his best performances that we've seen here locally and since he's been playing.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Now, Coach Kirk Broussard, I got a question for you. Can a player of his stature, can he be on both sides of it? Can he play on the field and then also be on the backside and doing scouting and helping out management?
No,
because that's pretty much what he's saying. He's saying he wants to have his hand in all cookie jars.
It can't work. I feel like it's just like on a football field. Can he block and throw the football, or does he just need to do his job? If everyone on the football field does their job, you have success.
Yeah.
And we can't have Aaron Rodgers making personnel decisions and playing quarterback. We can have him possibly giving strong input on how he feels on different situations. I can accept that. I can accept that from Aaron Rodgers or LeBron James or Tom Brady, someone on that elite category, because I understand I need to keep them happy. I need to keep them satisfied and keep them happy. And their opinion carries a little bit more weight than anyone else on the team. But he can't be pulling strings to the point to where if it's my way or the highway, I'm going to leave. I'm demanding a trade. It just sends a bad message. It just sends a bad message to the chemistry of the team. It sends like a selfish type message. When you look back on the history of Green Bay Packers, they've had 2 quarterbacks in the history of that franchise that are on his level, Brett Favre and himself. You've had some other quarterbacks that have been elite, but those 2 are the 2 top dogs in the history of the franchise. So you have to listen to a player of his caliber, but he just needs to understand there's a line that you just don't cross when it comes to trying to do someone else's job. That personnel director was hired for a reason. The GM was hired for a reason to do their job. And it's really disrespectful to try to cross the line and kind of call them out on their job. It's just one of those things to where when it's contract negotiation time and you have an option to stay in Green Bay or leave, at that time you need to leave. You fulfill your obligation to the organization. You can leave and go to a different franchise that you may be in more sync with that way they make their personnel decisions. But, the way he's doing it is a little bit overstepping his boundaries, I feel. But I can understand where he's coming from. He wants to win. He has that competitive nature. But there's just a line that you just don't cross. He can give input, but he's taking a little bit too far.
Yeah, and he made sure that he made sure he touched that line, right? Like he tiptoed slightly over it, and it looks like he did sign his contract, but I guess in the contract, 2023 is not in there.
Yeah.
So he is coming back for this season. Do you feel like he's tainted himself? He's blackmarked himself somehow. He stained himself where people are going to be like, you know what? It is what it is. But he did say people don't go to Green Bay for a vacation. They go to see him. What are your thoughts on that, Coach Chris?
I
think they go to see Devontae Adams too, not just him. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, I don't think he's people. As long as he plays like he played in that MVP season last year, every team in the league that doesn't have an established quarterback would let Aaron Rodgers come in regardless of this situation. The only thing I would kick back on, and I want to throw back to Kurt and just ask if the guy can put you in this position where he can basically strong arm you into adjusting his contract, he can get his old friends re-signed to the team. If he's that powerful and that meaningful to you, then maybe you shouldn't disrespect the guy. Maybe if he's able to turn it around on you and flip it like that, then you probably should be walking with kid gloves around the guy anyway and making sure that he's happy to a point where he doesn't have to go there. I think, because otherwise, then you just tell the guy, hey, go sit out and go do what you do. But if you have to have this guy and you cannot survive without him, don't put him in a position where he's got to call your car, because they look absolutely ridiculous with some of the things that they're having to do to cower to him now. And management wise, if I was not going to touch anybody, I'd be thinking twice about, some of that management, right? So that's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we all in agreement that he's kind of just like whatever, and next season we just replace him and we move forward? Is he replaceable? Is he replaceable?
No.
Again, that franchise has been around over 100 years, and they've only had one person as good as him. So he's probably not replaceable.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So he can just pretty much say whatever he wants, because no matter what, he will have a job and he will get whatever he wants.
He can't say whatever he wants, because you can still win a Super Bowl with a quarterback that's not on his level. Like, if I had a great team around everyone, I can win a Super Bowl with a Tannehill caliber quarterback.
Right.
You don't have to have an Aaron Rodgers to win a Super Bowl. It helps. It makes it easier. But if I had a great defense and some great parts around him, I can win a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Very true.
Okay. Let's speak. So another quarterback making headlines. What are your thoughts on Carson Wentz? Like, what are they going to do? I mean, the Colts, like, he's out for what, 12 weeks with an injury?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Who's going to replace him? Who's going to play?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, my first thought is you got to go back and pull Phillip Rivers out of retirement. That's my first thought. I mean, I don't know who else is on that roster right now. That guy just cannot stay healthy. I mean, it's an issue with Carson Wentz at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're saying that he had an old foot injury dating back to perhaps high school.
Wow.
And it's now triggered again. Now, this is according to a tweet that's been posted that it was breaking a few hours ago, that this goes back to a high school injury. I don't know. I mean, the decision has been made. He's going to undergo surgery, but again, it's going to take anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks for healing. All three of us know that it's going to take longer than that before he gets back to that.
I think when they signed Carson Wentz, if they banked on him to be the franchise, if they banked on him to be healthy, I think they made their own bed, because he hasn't proven any of that. He hasn't proven he can be a franchise guy or he can stay healthy. So if you roll those dice and thought he could be that guy, then you made your own bed. You should have did whatever you could to keep Jacoby Brissett, and like Coach said, now you're probably gonna have to call Phillip Rivers back out of retirement.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like it's not the greatest start to the NFL season. Coach Chris Williams, what are your thoughts on this? Do you have anything? Who would you like to see go into Carson's place?
That's tough to say. I mean, I based on what I was kind of thinking, I mean, I'd like to see Phillip Rivers return. I think there's some pieces around him that, maybe they could go further than they went last year when it comes to playoffs. I'd like to see Phillip Rivers return. I don't think there's anybody on the free agent market that's going to give them, that type of level of a talent of a Carson Wentz or even Phillip Rivers. So I'd be putting all my eggs in getting that guy to come back and just go one more time, and then you don't have to worry about a whole lot of learning curve with that. I mean, he played there last year, so he knows what that is. I'd have my eyes, dead set on Phillip Rivers.
Okay, well, I guess time will tell. I mean, we have a few weeks, right?
We got a few weeks.
We have a few weeks.
I mean, I kind of see the Colts' intentions, when they signed Carson Wentz, because I think they feel like their head coach is kind of a quarterback whisperer that's really good with quarterbacks, and I thought they probably thought he could kind of turn him around. But with him being so fragile and so unproven, you just can't put you had to have a hell of a backup signed also behind him, and maybe they just
Another headline that we're going to switch gears to. This one, I honestly was completely shocked. I feel like I was blindsided on this one. Just a few weeks ago, Richard Sherman makes a headline. And it's not a positive one. It's not a good one. Domestic abuse. Breaks into his in-laws' home. He's in jail. I don't know what's happened here. I know that he did release a statement saying that he knows he was in the wrong and he does apologize. But here's my question to the two of you. You both come from, you guys have been on the sidelines. You've coached. You've been with the players. Is there a way that we could here to blame the team? Because are they doing their daily check-ins? We're coming out of a pandemic. We've been locked down, shut down, football's changed, schedules have changed. Is there a connection where he was maybe falling through the cracks because they thought, oh, he's fine. But this is some pretty heavy duty stuff. Like, even though he has pleaded guilty, he's fully responsible for everything. What do you guys think about this? Like, were you guys as friggin' shocked as I was when you heard that he was in custody and he was in jail?
Coach?
Gosh, I mean, I think I hear you, maybe thinking that the team could do more, right? I guess that's what
I feel like the team can do more because he's not the only player from a team that has, gotten into trouble where it's totally out of character from what we've seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I know we've only seen Richard Sherman as the up and coming star. We've seen his attitude on the field. He can be a real diva. He can be a real jerk, and he brings it, but he can support it.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought that's what kind of happened on the field, and he just kind of left it there and then proceeded home.
Yeah. I think it's tough to blame the team, but you also kind of have to blame the team when things happen in the end. I mean, we've all seen situations where players can embarrass you, when they do something unexpected. I mean, even if you're keeping up with them, and even if you're checking in, even if you got them coming in the building, you really can only do anything once you react to them doing something. So, I mean, I get where you're going with that, and I think it's always the egg on the face for the team when this stuff happens. But it's just so hard to keep your finger on everybody, and when they do something as embarrassing as this, it's just tough. But yeah, I wouldn't say initially, but obviously at the end of the day, it comes back on the team, and they look bad for it, right?
Yeah, well, he's facing 4 misdemeanor charges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Richard Sherman, we've seen him act like a jerk on the field, right? But he always backed up his attitude and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this is something like a domestic violence, something that it's not the first time we've heard this from a player, and it's not going to be the last. But Coach Kirk Broussard, what are your thoughts on this? Were you just as shocked as I was?
I think it's been a bit overblown. There's always a story behind a story. There's always a story behind a story. So, I mean, chances are he probably bought the house for his in-laws. It's probably his house.
Yeah. Well, another report is saying that he pleads not guilty to charges that he tried to break into the home.
Mm-hmm.
He says that. So this is a quote that I just pulled up. I've been dealing with some personal challenges over the last several months, but that is not an excuse for how I acted. But he is pleading not guilty to breaking into the home. So you're right. Maybe he did buy it, but
it's probably his house, But
yeah, I get what you're saying, but you still, just because you bought a house for someone doesn't mean you just get to come and go whenever you want.
But he actually, I watched the video. He didn't break in the house. He was arguing at the door, and he kicked the door.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't enter the house or break into it. I think he was just frustrated with them for who knows. There's a story behind the story.
You're right. Absolutely.
They may not be completely innocent in it. Is he guilty for losing control of his emotions? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know he does that on the football field. Do we know that he's like a super highly intelligent guy with a Stanford degree that's super well articulated and all around he's a really good guy? We know that about him.
Yeah.
Is he exempt from losing control sometimes? We all lose control sometimes. He probably has a bit of an anger problem. They probably pissed him off. Who knows what they did to him to make him that mad. But, I think it's overblown. I mean, he just got caught on a ring cam. There's a ring cam on every door,
I agree with that. But then I guess if you are in the spotlight, especially being a football player and you're making, you got a multi-million-dollar contract, you really do have to second guess a lot of things that you want to do, that you can do, and what you're going to get caught for doing, right? So I don't know. I was still shocked because when you look at his whole story and how he got to where he was going, and you listen, and you know his father, the adversity, everything they've overcome. It's just so sad that something like this, regardless if the media has twisted it or the story was twisted along the way from whoever, that it's affected his career, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to affect his career, or do you think that's just going to be like, okay, whatever? We just want to sign him because he's really good, and this doesn't matter?
He's on the end of his career anyway. It doesn't really matter probably too much, but at the end of the day, everyone has a life to live, and we're all going to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And if we're famous, our mistakes are going to be more publicized than others. But at the end of the day, we do the best that we can do through life and be the best people that we can be. And at the end of the day, when we close our eyes, is all that really going to matter anyway? It's not. It's just something for us to talk about.
God, I've missed you. Yeah. I've missed your positive spin on things there, Kirk.
Well, thanks.
Okay, let's switch gears right now. Miami Dolphins. I'm not sure I'm feeling very positive about the Tua train this year. I know last year we had a love-hate relationship with the Dolphins. What do you guys think so far? I mean, you guys have seen the trades and what's going on. You've seen the final rosters. We've seen them in camp. Do you think that, to me last year that yes, they did prove themselves and they did go far. Like they surprised us, actually. They shocked us, but I'm not sure they're going to do it this year.
Yeah. What do you think, Coach?
I'm very confident in Brian Flores. I think he's already shown he can do some things with, a lot of guys that we don't necessarily know, and a lot of guys that may be even new to the league for the amount of young guys that he had success with last year. I think we can always hold out hope that he can spin some things and make some positivity. When you just talk about Tua, the jury's got to still be out. As big of a Tua fan as I am, and Lord knows I'm a Tua fan, but I'm just really worried about where he's at with development, he's even admitted, kind of where he's at with being a little bit behind the 8 ball there. So the coaching staff really good, counting on this first round draft pick quarterback and Tua. It's just the jury's still out. We'll just have to see, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, they're saying that he's gotten off to a good start in training camp. Mm-hmm. But I kind of feel that he can't check his emotions when he's playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as coaches, I think you guys can understand that.
Yeah. A lot of guys do well in training camp. Like I said, I hate to say it, but we'll just have to wait and see what he does. Yeah. Does he back up what they're saying? We'll just have to see.
I know, Coach Kirk Broussard, what do you think? You got anything on the Dolphins? Any thoughts? Any finals? Because you like to always go against what I say.
No, I just think. I think they're another 10-win team. Mm-hmm. I think they could be a 12 or 13 win team with a healthy. Well, how can I put this? They're going to go out obviously as far as Tua can take them because they're going to play good defense. I feel like they're going to play good defense. They're going to be a solid defensive team. They got some pieces in the draft around Tua to kind of help them out. They have a great coach in Flores. I do have some questions about the quarterback coach there, which I think is Charlie Frye. I think it's really beneficial when you have a young quarterback to have an outstanding QB developer. And I'm not sure Charlie Frye is the right guy for that development that we need to see out of Tua. So that I think that could hinder his growth as well. Hopefully they have some depth behind him because we know he is fragile. And I feel like I said, I think they're a 10-win team based on they're going to play good, tough defense. And I think everyone on that offense is a year older, with a year under their belt, and I think they're going to be improved on offense as well. So, yeah, like I said, if he could stay healthy, they're definitely a 10-win team for sure.
Okay. I'm just reading here that they're actually – we're going to go back to the Colts really quickly. I know we talked about our thoughts on Carson. So they're saying Jacob Eason is primed to thrive as the Indianapolis Colts replacement for Carson Wentz. Did you guys hear about this? You guys, I see Chris shaking his head here. I see Kirk like, oh no.
Jacob
yeah.
Eason. Oh my God.
Is
They're in trouble.
primed. This is what it is saying. CBS NFL. Okay, this is quoted, and they're saying Jake and Eason is primed to thrive in Indianapolis as Colts replacement for Carson Wentz.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
And how many games has Jacob Eason started in the NFL? 0.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needs somebody to take a leap of faith on him.
He was a 5-star quarterback out of high school. He was like the number 1 high school QB recruit, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody wanted him. He ended up going to Georgia and played well at Georgia, but lost his position to I can't think of the kid's name. He's in the NFL also now. And so he has a ton of upside. He has a size, he has an arm, he has all the tools. He has 0 experience, and he's done 0 to show that he can be a starter in the NFL. But he's been forced into that role. Yep. And now mind you, Frank Wright has proven to be a really good quarterback developer. So it could be something that there may be something that we haven't seen with his development, and he could surprise us.
Okay.
But if that's who you're banking on to enter the season, that's going to make you a playoff team, which is where you want to be. Good luck. I can't see it with Jacob Eason.
Okay. Hey, I just read the headlines. Okay. I don't know. It will be interesting though, because it will give us lots to talk about. I know we are just starting the season because we're at training camp, when we get to see how things go over the next couple weeks, right up until kickoff. The other thing, I don't even know what to say about Brady. You know what? I have this love-hate relationship. You guys know that with Brady. Last season, it was no denying it. I didn't hide it, but I have to say I'm kind of liking him right now. Like he's grown on me.
Cannot believe you're saying that. Wow.
I know.
What do you like about Brady? I'm curious.
Do you want to know what? I have noticed a big difference in Brady. I feel like he is more I feel like I can connect with him as like a real person versus the jerk that I thought he was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was the
Do you like it more?
thing.
Do you like him more now that he's not a Patriot? Is that it? Because Giants fans don't like Patriots.
Well, yeah,
he's a little bit more likable.
He's
a little bit more likable.
But don't you feel like he has more of a personality now versus when he was a Patriot?
You're right. He is a lot more loose. Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
He on social media all the time. Mm-hmm. He just seems like he wants to be like one of the other guys. But we never saw that side of him, or maybe I didn't see that side of him because I was like, yeah, Brady, Patriot, I don't like you. But I just feel like he is really just like one of the guys now.
Yeah. I think he's enjoying this winding down of his career. I mean, I thought he was really good on the is it called The Shop with LeBron James's show inside the barbershop, and he was really he was really being one of the guys there too, as well as we saw him at the party after the Super Bowl. I think he's enjoying it, and he's letting us see him enjoy the end of his career, which is pretty cool to see.
I feel very connected to him right now. I don't love him, but I just feel connected to him.
That was an easy turnaround.
Can you go back and show your face as a Giants fan after you said you like Brady?
I'm wearing Giants blue tonight. I will always support my Giants. I have the purse. I have flip-flops. I have all the swag for the Giants. I even have a necklace, which I will wear next time when we reunite.
Right.
I'm just saying that I like him as a person now. He is an actual person to me now that he plays for Tampa versus when he played for the Patriots. That's all I'm saying.
I can see that.
Okay. But my heart, yes, Giants. Ticats and Giants. So there's my two for CFL and for NFL.
So where do the Bills fall at in this favorites?
I just think no. Okay, I know. Everyone always says that. How can you talk about the Bills when you're not like a Bills fan? But I see the potential in them. Okay. To me, I love the game of football. Okay, I have my team, but I also have the teams that I like because I see their potential. right? I'm a realist. Do I know that the Giants may sometimes not win, or when I'm putting my picks in for the week, I've learned you don't pick with heart. Okay. You got stats.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that. We're
Yeah.
going to hold you to that. You're not going to pick with your heart.
I never pick with my heart. That's why I always win. I always beat you guys.
Okay. All right.
All right. We'll see.
We'll see. Yes. We're gonna have to up the ante.
Are you doing a pool? Are you doing a pool this year?
Absolutely.
You have a football pool this year?
Yeah, and I think that the three of us should do one, and we should get our fans in on it as well.
We should.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see.
That would be excellent. We should organize something like that.
Yeah.
We should. Let's do it. So let's talk about the Olympics. Have you guys watched it? I mean, like, let's talk about girl power. Man, oh man, all these medals that are being won. Women. Woo!
I just started watching it last night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of controversy when it comes to the Olympics because Tokyo is on a shutdown. They didn't even want to have it there because of, we've talked about the variant. We've talked about another lockdown, all these lockdowns and stuff. But it's been entertaining. So what my question to the two of you tonight, gentlemen, Simone Biles, huge thing that she did. She risked a lot of stuff on the line when she said, I'm not going to compete. I want to take my mental health. I want to put it first. So she really has, I think, paved the way for a generation because as we three of us know, we come from a time where it didn't matter if you had a concussion, didn't matter if you were hurt, didn't matter if you were having like stuff going on, you still went out and you still played. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Do you feel like this was a moment, this was a good thing for her to do? Or do you feel like maybe she should have just kind of pushed it to the side and then continued?
I think she has a lot of young fans, that a lot of young girls that look up to her, that wanted to watch her compete, that were really looking forward to that. And I think she inspires a lot of young girls in her sports and guys as well. And I think there were so many people looking forward to see her compete. So, she did something for herself, but, there's two ways you can look at it. Some may look at it as selfish, but some may look at it as, bravo to her for putting herself first. So.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think about, what did you initially think when she posted that and she said, I'm not going to compete. I'm going to put my mental health first.
I hate to say it, I wasn't very happy about seeing that. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit too old school. I don't know. I just, I feel like if that's a stage that you're training for, that's a high level, high pressure stage. And when you go down that path, then you've got to understand that there's going to be some pressure and some things that you have to deal with and overcome. I mean, it's almost like don't play the sport. I mean, if you're shooting for the Olympic Games, you want to be the best in the world at something that you do, and you don't think there's going to be any pressure that comes with that, then you would be in a dreamland, in my opinion. So I just felt like, maybe we're giving a little bit of a pass, sort of this everybody gets a trophy sort of a mentality here, and people are some people very vehemently disagree with me on that, but I just really think we're letting people off the hook way too easily. And if you just throw up the mental health thing, and I've seen mental health issues in my family, that's real. That's a real thing.
It is real. And you know what I will say, I will agree with you. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that use that phrase.
Yes, absolutely.
They use the phrase to get out of stuff, and they don't necessarily understand what it means. Not saying that we're not saying that Simone does not know what mental health is, and if she was in a bad way, kudos to her for being brave enough. I'll put it this way: brave enough to use that and to realize and to say, okay, you know what? There's some red flags going on with myself. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be able to compete. But you are right when you say you have come this far. And so many people would die to get into that moment of the Olympics. Just like reaching the Super Bowl, just like hitting the field. There's so many people that would take your spot. At what point do we say, okay, stop using this as a clutch?
Yeah.
And again, we'll maybe go back to the team or to the coach. Who's teaching these athletes how to deal with mental health? It's hard. I mean, young athletes these days, they really have, it's hard.
Yeah, we know it's hard.
I will say that.
We definitely know it's hard, but it's kind of where I stand.
Yeah, it's sad to see, but I mean, we can debate both sides of it. I agree with both of you, but I will say, yeah, there's a lot of people that just use it.
I don't know. The world is hard, and we all have problems. We all have problems, but some of us are able to compartmentalize our problems and push through our lives and get things done. And I think that's a value I picked up from my great grandparent and my grandfather. You know, those people they were developed in a time that was so difficult and so hard and had so much stress that we can't even imagine. And that's who raised me. Those people raised me, and they instilled in me every day about enduring through pain or stress or problems. And a lot of that stuff just bounces off of me. You know, I know I'm not invincible and I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I like to think that I'm pretty tough. And I think it came from the way I was raised with being raised by grandparents.
Yeah. And we're actually going to be talking
They came from
about
like the toughest generation.
Yeah, we are going to be, if you guys stick around over the next couple weeks, we are going to talk about NFL camps. We're going to be talking about the new season and, of course, baseball. There's so many sports that are starting back up. Fans in the stands, we're loving this. We have the CFL we can cover as well. But I am actually going to be interviewing both these gentlemen, and we're going to get to know their story behind their smile, the story behind their journey, and what got them to where they are today. Because as you said, we all have a story. A lot of people could hear our story and then they're going to be like, I would not have known that. I would not have realized that you had to go through all of that to get to this, right? Yeah. So, Kirk, I know we talked about yours.
I'm looking forward to hearing Coach's story.
I can't wait.
Story.
Especially in coaching. Especially in coaching. All coaches have a story, you know, like the obstacles that they had to overcome to get jobs. I'm really looking forward to hear Coach's story because you don't really talk about it that much, and I want to hear it.
All right.
Yeah, Coach Chris, Coach Williams, you're very quiet a lot of the times, and I know that there's a story in there, and I know that it's there. I think you got some good stuff to talk about too.
I think Coach has a really good story because I think he endured a lot over the years in coaching, trying to get different jobs, and he ran into all types of stories he probably could tell you. Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, because I know that the season will be starting and we will be talking about that as well. But I know we kind of came up with a name of it, and it was Overcoming the Voices. I think all three of us can say that there's a lot of voices that we hear. Not only are we saying the voices in our head because it's us against us, you know, the me versus me, but there's the voices that you hear from outside. Could be family members, could be friends. And they're the ones telling you, don't do this, you can't do this, and blah, 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 blah. And it gets to be overwhelming. So we're going to really dive into that. And I know we'll also have players that we'll have involved in this. And we're going to be really diving into the story behind the score, the story behind the player, the story behind the coaches. So I'm really looking forward to that. And hey, anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up our welcome back episode?
Well, just to capitalize on what you said earlier, I think, especially with your story, Tracy, and Coach and our stories, there's a lot of young coaches that are entering the coaching business or experiencing those same obstacles. And I think our stories can be inspirational to those coaches. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a world where, isn't it funny when people think, oh, your job's easy. Oh, everything looks so easy. You're just doing this or you're just doing that. But they don't see the part, like maybe after the game, the lead up to the game. I mean, being a coach, I'm sure both of you gentlemen will agree. Not everybody likes the coach all the time, because if something happens, it's the coach that gets blamed for it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'd be interested to hear some newspaper articles that you've had to read about yourself, Coach, that you didn't like too much.
Wow. I mean, you guys should have warned me that
What?
we're going to have this counseling
Well,
session.
we won't have it tonight. Don't worry, but we will be having it.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. Now I've got to go lay on the couch and think about all of the.
Oh, I will be Googling the both of you, and I will be finding the juiciest stories. I will be reaching out to people. And if anyone is listening and you have a story that you would like to share about
Right.
Coach Williams or Coach Broussard, please reach out to me and let me know.
Make us pull up all the tough times in life, man. That's gonna be fun, though. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we really want everyone to know who we are. And as Coach Broussard just said, our stories can be inspiration. It could be inspiring to somebody else. It could motivate somebody else. And that's what we're all about. We want to, it's a feel good piece that we're going to do because we interview athletes, we interview coaches, but I think it's time that I put the spotlight on the two of you. So I'll see what I can come up with. Let's expect the unexpected, gentlemen.
All right.
So that is it. That's our
I'm ready
first
for it.
time back. I'm sure when we meet again, we'll have a lot of headlines to catch up on.
Yeah.
And it was great to see the both of you. Super excited. Monday night is back.
Great to see you all.
And you know that this was hiding somewhere.
Wow.
Oh,
What is it?
Fine.
Tell us about
yeah.
it.
What is it? What do
I
you
think
drink?
it was a Cab Sav,
Okay.
low sugar.
All right. There you go.
Watching the wine waste.
Mhm.
Nice.
I don't ride a bike like Coach Williams. How are you feeling? You posted yesterday or earlier today. Did you fall on your bike?
Man, I went over the handlebars, Tracy. I mean,
Oh my God, man.
my back is killing me right now. But man, I just tried it too fast. I got into the curve and I thought I could handle it. I was looking cool until the end, man. So it was pretty embarrassing, and people were watching. So it was not my greatest moment.
All I saw was this picture of your feet and then your bike in the background. And just that you had fallen. And the first thing I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And I know Coach Broussard as well. He was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? But I'm glad that you're fine.
Yeah.
How often do you ride?
I'm every other day, Coach. Every other day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
When the weather's good, every other day for sure.
Have you guys seen my bike? I've
Have not.
posted about it a few times.
I don't know if I
It's a
have or not.
3-wheeler adult trike.
I think I did see it once. I sure did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's no joke. I know a lot of people think it's a joke when I post about it. Her name is Cabernet because she is the color of wine, of red wine. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. The kids have thrown
I
the
gotta see
football in the back of my basket a few times.
Oh,
I'll send it to you.
I remember
yeah.
seeing it.
So
I gotta see this.
last summer, there was a TikTok or some sort of challenge where it was the Kirk Cousin. You had to throw the ball and tape yourself catching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I rode my bike and I have a big basket on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this football, we threw the football, so it looked like he was throwing it in my basket.
I was just about to say you should put it on TikTok. That would be crazy.
Oh, I'm going to show it to you. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just,
Okay.
it doesn't go very fast and it's hard to do corners,
I
but
can-
going a straight line, man, I am like on fire.
I can imagine.
That's funny.
Well, gentlemen, I hope you have a great night. The Play
Yeah,
Colors
same to you.
podcast,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
And so
Thanks,
excited.
guys. Have a good
Great
night.
to see you. We'll see you
Good
guys
luck
next week.
Thursday night, Tracy.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
All right.
Go Cats. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Hey, how do I get off?